Welcome to this video tutorial from yesterday. This video is going to go through the Storybook Wizard. That's the section of the software where you would go to actually configure your storybook. We're going to assume for the purposes of this demo that you've already gone to the media library. That's the section of the system where you would upload photos of your honoree. I like to encourage users to think outside of just photos and include things like scanned images of marriage certificates, wedding invitations, brochures from treasured vacations, letters, that sort of thing, because it really does add to the power of the story. Additionally, we're going to assume you've already gone through the story generator. That's the wizard that will actually produce the text for your storybook. It has a huge library of content for you to browse through, and you can modify it and adjust it however you see fit. If you haven't done either of these two processes, please look at our YouTube channel for information on how to complete them. To begin, let's log on with the account that our funeral home has provided us. And if we've used the site before, we may have been brought back to whatever section we left off on last. If that's the case, we'll just click the My Yesterday Builder menu up here at the top, and it'll return us to this main menu. To begin, we're going to click the Storybooks icon here under Step 3. And it's going to produce a list of any books we've started in the past. So we'll see the title we gave the book, whether it was portrait or landscape, if we've published it, or if it's in a draft. That is a key piece of information. Once we're done proofreading and validating that everything in the book's the way we like it, we mark it as published, and then it'll be available in our order products section for purchase by either ourselves or any of the contributors we've invited to the site. So unless it's marked published, we cannot place an order for that particular book. You can find information on the ordering process on our YouTube channel as well. We can view any of the books, we can edit them, or if we just want to start over or we're not happy with the book, we can just go ahead and delete it and get rid of it. For the purposes of this demo, let's go ahead and create a new book. And the first thing we have to do is just provide it a name. This is just like naming a file on your computer. It's just a way to identify the book. And we choose, do we want it to be portrait or landscape? We hit OK. And the wizard starts with the first thing we have to do is to configure the cover of the book. So remember, these are going to be hardcover books. We have the option to place a picture on the cover of the book that'll wrap all the way around. It looks nice. So if we like any of these predefined backgrounds for our cover, we can simply double click on it and it'll add it to our book. Next, we have to give it a title. So we can click in here and give the book a title. Optionally, we can give it a tagline. And now the difference between the green boxes represent text, the orange boxes represent a picture selection area. So if I simply click in an orange box, I can scroll through my media library, select a photo I want to include in that place, and it'll add it right to the template. Finally, if you want, on your spine, we can add additional text. So I'm just going to copy the title here, but you could place whatever you want. And once we're satisfied with that, we just simply hit next to move on. So here, we're going to start and go all the way through our 3, 4, 5 chapters of our book. So starting with the preface, we can choose to include it or not. So I'm going to include the preface. We hit next. By default, it's going to come up with a template. I can click this button if I want to change that template. And I can pick templates with additional photos. Photo on the left with text like this and this, or whatever style I prefer. So let's go ahead and select this one and hit change template. And now you can see my text was split up into the new layout, and I have my one picture over here. So I'm going to go ahead and select that and pick a picture for that section. Optionally, if there were captions with this picture already defined, I could include them, or I could type one right here. I'm just going to leave the picture as is and hit OK. And since that was all that was in the preface section, I can just simply hit next topic. Moving on to younger years, I can choose to include all or one or none of these subchapters. So let's just go include family and grade school, and I'll include playtime as well. And down here we can see how many pages we have remaining. This is the max number of pages that we're capable of binding in the system. Depending on your package, your book's going to come with a predefined number of pages that are going to be included with a book. In the order products video, they'll go through the complete process so you can determine how many pages you get included. If you go over that number, however, it's just a small fee per page to add additional pages. So once I've decided which subchapters I want to include, I'm going to go ahead and hit next. Now for the chapter younger years, I can choose to include a background or not, and I can choose to include a photo to represent the younger years chapter. I'm going to hit OK. If I wanted to swap out the background, I can simply just double click one and get a new background picked. Once I'm happy with that, I go ahead and hit next. And now we're going to start with actual text here. So I can read my text. I can decide, I don't want that particular template again. I want to have two pictures on this one, so I'll scroll through till I find one that has multiple pictures. So I like that one. I hit change template. And it readjusted my text and added the two sections for pictures. Once I'm happy with the layout, hit next page. And it just continues with this process until that subchapter is out of text. So we'll just keep on going. So now we've moved on to grade school. We'll repeat that same process. We'll pick a photo. And on to playtime, continue with the same process. And now, since we completed all the subchapters we selected, we moved on to adult years. I'll just do college, just to get through this a little faster. Same process here for our main chapter. We can decide, do we like that background or select another one. We can pick a picture to include on that page. Once we're happy, we go ahead and hit next. It brings up the text for that subchapter. We select our photos. And on to later years. And we just continue this process till we're all the way through all of our chapters. Finally into reflections. And there we're done. So just that quickly, we created a couple page book. Obviously your pages would be more extensive. Just trying to make it a little shorter for brevity of the demo. And once we get to this book, or this page, we have a couple options here. We can preview the book, we can publish the book, or we can just simply hit finish and come back later. So let's go ahead and preview it. Word of warning, to preview the book, you will have to turn off your pop-up blocker. If you haven't done so already, there is plenty of information on the web for the various web browsers that are out there on how to turn off the pop-up blocker in each. So let's go ahead and preview the book. And the system will go ahead and generate it for us. And here we can actually flip through the book and take a look at the layout. And make sure everything looks like we wanted it to. Once we're happy with that, we also have the ability to publish the book. So we can go here, and by doing this, it's going to make it allow us to order it, or make this book enabled to be ordered. So we're going to hit OK. It's now published, and we can go right to the order products, or we can just hit finish to return to the main menu. Now you're back to the main menu, and you can continue on with whatever else you would like to do in My Yesterdays. Thank you for your time. I hope you found this tutorial informative. Let us know if you have any questions or problems with the site, and we encourage you to watch all of our tutorial videos for tips and guidance on how to use My Yesterday. Goodbye.